What's going down? What's the word? Quarter bird. Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all hit the like button as y'all come on in here. Hit the like button as y'all come on in. I want y'all to be able to not be able to. I hope we can have an open and honest discussion about one of my favorite TV shows from back in the day. And let's talk about Tashina Arnold's sit down with Dion Cole. Right? Um Brian Russell, what's going on with you, boss? You know, this conversation is going to get a lot of people upset. It's going to make a lot of people angry. It's going to be a lot of people that disagree with this conversation, and that's perfectly fine with me. Um, I'm open to a conversation that people don't agree with. I'm not here on YouTube to have everybody agreeing with me on everything, right? We're going to disagree. That's life. But you know, I had to have this conversation because a few days ago, Tashina Arnold went had an interview, a sit down with Dion Cole, brother from my hometown, Chicago, Illinois. They addressed the conversation or Ari Lennox's criticism of colorism in one of my favorite TV shows, right? Martin. The Martin show, I grew up watching Martin. Now, as a kid, you know, you're not privy of certain things when you're a child. But as you grow older, as you become more enlightened, as you become more educated, you understand things at a different level, right? And I want to like black people, a lot of us understand how racism works, but we don't understand how colorism works. And I want to fix that with this live stream. You see, when we talk about colorism that's presented in the Martin show, a lot of people think, well, there were no jokes about Pam's skin tone or skin color in the show. And that is absolutely true, right? 100%. But what people don't understand is making jokes about the dark-skinned girl looking like animals, horses, dogs, etc., calling a BDB, talking about buckshots at the back of her hair and all of that. Like, that's texturism, right? And those type of, you said not you too, it's being for real. Those type of criticisms are not lobbied at lighter skinned women for real in shows. It's not. The only real jokes you heard about Gina on the show was her head being big. And that is not the equivalent to calling Pam a dog, a horse, talking about buckshots at the back of her hair, all of that. You know what I mean? When you talk about a black woman's hair texture, dark woman's hair, a darker skinned black woman hair texture, that's rooted in colorism. Because again, those jokes would not be lobbied. They would not be thrown to Tisha Campbell, right? And colorism has been present in a lot of the media that we love to enjoy, rap videos, etc. There is a reason why, as a kid, I was conditioned to believe that lighter skinned women were prettier than darker skinned women. And I had like that for as a young man. Yeah, talking the microaggressions, right? Microaggressions. Because it wasn't, the colorism was not surface level. It was not. It wasn't like, oh, you're black, you're dark, you're black, you're dark, you're black. No. But there are certain things like texturism and things like that is rooted in colorism. It is, right? And as a kid, I was programmed from watching rap videos to think the lighter skinned girl was finer than a dark skinned girl. I'm just being real with y'all. That's just how it was growing up, right? And as I came up, I became more sensitive to colorism, or what's the word I'm looking for? I became more aware of it watching my cousin deal with it. My favorite cousin. My favorite cousin is often in the comments of my videos, right? She was a dark-skinned chocolate girl. Chocolate, like Morris Chestnut type, like dark girl, right? And And the jokes that were thrown at her in school, calling her burnt, black, all of that, you know what I mean? I became more sensitive to colorism because of what she dealt with at school, right? I remember this book by Sharon G. Flake called The Skin I'm In. And it was about a girl being really, really dark skinned and the things that she would deal with due to her being dark skinned for real. And so, but I mean, I remember reading that book too, right? But back to the conversation with my cousin, I remember the stuff that she would deal with. I'd be like, man, she would come home crying from all of that stuff. And it was for like, this is a real conversation. It's an important issue. A lot of us as Black people, we don't want to address it in our favorite shows because we don't want our favorite shows to be looked at as bad, right? We don't want our show. We like, oh, we got to cancel our show. We got to cancel our show. But listen, you can love a show and acknowledge, man, they did that wrong. They did that the wrong way. You can acknowledge that, right? For example, one of my favorite shows growing up was Good Times. It's one of my favorite shows ever, right? Based in my hometown, Chicago, Illinois, in the Cabrini Green projects, all of that. I love that show. My grandmother, God rest her soul, she passed away in 2020. She hated that show. She fucking hated that show. Why? Because all that dynamite, that was shucking and jiving to her. As a Black woman that came from rural Mississippi, came from Cleveland, Mississippi, right? Migrated to Chicago, Illinois in 1960. She like, why are they showing this on TV? What he doing all like dynamite? Like, you know what I mean? So that to her is like, this is like minstrel show to me. Like, she didn't even call the show Good Time. When my dad would be watching it, she like, your daddy downstairs watching JJ. She hated that, right? And while I love Good Times, I can acknowledge, damn, that is like shucking and jiving. All that dino, all that even what's my brother name? James Evans, John Amos. He acknowledged as the show went on, it became all about JJ dynamite, dynamite, dynamite versus the real stories of a Black family, right? Michael's activism, Thelma's career path and all of that. It was focused on JJ doing all of that. So while I love Good Times, I can acknowledge that was a problem with that, right? So, no. He clowned on everybody, but there is a difference in the type of jokes, right? Gina's head being big is not the equivalent to calling Pam the equivalent of an animal, dog, horse, all of that, camel, things like that, right? Making fun of her hair texture, BDB, buckshots. He never threw them jokes, those type of jokes, to Tisha Campbell, right? He never did. And that is like texturism, stuff like that, talking about the texture of a girl's hair, something that would be attributed to, that is something that would be attributed to a Black woman, that a dark-skinned woman. They would not lobby those same jokes at a light-skinned girl like Tisha Campbell. They wouldn't. They wouldn't lobby those jokes at a lighter-skinned Black woman like Lisa Ray. He wouldn't have had them jokes for Lisa Ray McCoy. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be that wouldn't be lobbied at her in that way. So that is a thing, and it's like undertones of certain things, right? Like and that is a real issue for real, right? And I love this show, but it is those type of jokes. I'm for real. As a kid, had me thinking, and I know I'm just a kid. Those type of jokes had me thinking Tachina Arnold wasn't fine, and Tisha was, and Gina was. Those type of jokes had me thinking Pam wasn't fine. And again, now I was a kid at the time, but for real, and let's be for real, like honestly, when the lead man of a show, he acknowledged how Pam was fine numerous times. You talking about in the character of I believe Cindy when she said they cracked on each other equally, never cared, came from and I don't think it got to come from a malicious place. It doesn't, right? It don't got to come from a malicious place to still be incorrect. You see what I'm saying? It don't have to. I can say certain things and it don't got to come from a malicious place for it to be incorrect. You know, Martin is, and let me say this: these type of conversations don't take away from the Martin show at all. It doesn't. I love the show. I love the show for real. I still love the show. But I'm gonna be for real. As a kid, them type of jokes thrown at Pam had me not looking at her like she was fine. It had me because Martin was the lead man. The lead man indicates what's fine on the show. Y'all know that. In them eras, the lead man Martin was the dude. If the lead man is not attracted to the girl, I ain't talking about his side characters of Jerome and shit. Like nobody cared about what Jerome thought was fine. No. You know what I'm saying? So that's for real. Man, he really did like Pam because he was having a nightmare. Okay, that's one episode. That one episode, right? But I think that's the same. Like it's like a, is it for real? And I know people look at things differently, but I assess things differently too. And again, everybody gonna assess things differently. Had you thinking Pam not even fine, even though Gina head was the size of what? Cause bro, you know why? Cause big head jokes don't hit the same as calling a girl a horse or a camel to me. It don't. It's a lot of fine girls that have big heads. When you calling the girl a camel or a horse and all of that I never, like, for real. Being for real, that's honestly, like, honesty for, like, and it's okay to acknowledge that. Like I just told y'all, my grandmama hated Good Times, right? I love that show. I love that show. My grandmama hated Good Times because she thought all that dynamite, that stuff like that was shucking and jiving to her. As a black woman that came from Mississippi, the Mississippi Delta, came and migrated to Chicago in 1960, she would look at that and say, man, what the hell is this on TV? Like, what? All of that, like, and again, we don't like to acknowledge certain stuff because we think it's gonna do damage to our show. It's still a classic show, but we can still acknowledge that there were certain things that were colorism, that was rooted in colorism. Erica Alexander, right? Y'all know Erica Alexander that played Maxine Shaw, attorney at law, right? She agrees with Ari Lennox. She says it's valid, 100% valid. It is. Because as a dark-skinned woman, I'm sure she encountered some of that, those little undertones in Hollywood. And Martin joked on Gina about her complexion and shape. What he joke about her shape for? I don't know what shape. You said y'all reaching. And that's fine. Everybody view things differently. That's fine. You know, but again, I can understand how certain people can look at stuff in a certain way. Again, I love Good Times. My grandma hated that show to a core. And I said, dang, I understand where grandma coming from. I still like the show, but I understood all that dynamite, all that jiving. It was like, he said, all he called up was muscle butt. Yeah, that's not a bad joke. Muscle butt is like, just because she got like, that's not those jokes are not equivalent to me. It's not. Calling Gina having a big head and having hips, that's not a bad joke to me. You know what I mean? But calling a girl a horse and a camel and a dog, that's a real type of thing. That's like, yo, that's completely different. Them jokes are not equivalent to me. They not. Gina was his woman, right? And again, what the lead man dictates as fine is, you said they're not going to be equivalent because it's his woman. You see what I'm saying? You cannot minimize jokes against Gina and exaggerate jokes against Pam. That's not exaggeration. It's not. A big head joke, like, that's not the same as you think calling a girl a big head joke and calling a girl a dog, a camel, is the same thing? I don't find them two equivalent at all. Let's eliminate the jokes on Pam. What's the show then? Bro, if the show is just jokes, like you said, what you mean? What's the show? You saying the show not nothing without jokes on Pam? Because that ain't true, but yeah. He called her Muttley. That's not calling a girl a mutt. That's and then when you understand, like, again, I am more Martin love all shades regardless. No, it's not. So again, it's gaslighting to deny colorism. Yeah, it is. Like, y'all know it was Martin and Pam that made those jokes were horrible. Like, let's be for real though. Like, again, as a kid, when I looked at as a kid, when you're a child like me, like I was, what the lead man dictates is fine. A lot of times, because Martin was the guy. Like, you want to be like Martin. Martin was the cool guy on the show. What the lead man dictates is fine affects what you can view as fine. A lot of times, as a child, as a young man, as a young boy. So that conditioned me to the jokes he had against Pam. And me think, oh man, she ain't nothing. She ain't nothing. Gina the fine one, right? And as I got older, I'm like, man, no. I disagree with that. And we can agree to disagree. But I really think, again, and I think I have another sensitivity to it due to the fact that I saw how my cousin got treated in the hood for being a dark girl. My cousin was like dark skin. Not like Pam dark. She was dark skin. And I saw how she would get tormented in the hood for how for her skin color. 100%. Even to a lesser degree, right? My homeboy, even darker men to a lesser degree, got ragged on for being dark. You know what I'm saying? And it was certain little jokes that was in there too. You know what I mean? But it wasn't to the same level as women. But I remember this vividly. My homie Kerry, we was in when we got to college. My homie Kerry, he a brother of Kappa Alpha Psi like me. Right? Kerry looked like Mikaela Petrus that played for the Golden State Warriors and the Orlando Magic. When we got to college, girls start, this is when dark-skinned guys became it. Girls start saying, I want a chocolate man, a chocolate dude. Girls start saying that. And Kerry said, man, what the hell was y'all at in high school and grammar school when everybody was calling me burnt, black, crispy, all of that? What was y'all at then? He really was like, damn, it's the wave now. But what was that? Even being a darker man for a period was rough, but it was never the same as being a darker woman. Being a darker woman, that was man. What if you was Lupita Nyong'o's color? Oh man, you was in trouble as a girl. Y'all know that. If you was Lupita's color, you was in trouble. It was never gonna be no thing where you like, oh man, this girl, she's super fat. It's rare. It's rare. Only dark girl I remember that was getting that type of acclaim was old girl from Boys in the Hood. What's old girl name? The fine girl from Boys in the Hood. Right? She the only one I remember that was real dark like that for real. That was most dark Lupita Nyong'o color girls. It was not gonna be that thing. But again, we don't want the Martin show canceled at all, but it's okay to acknowledge that certain things was not okay in the show. Ain't nobody calling for cancellation of the show at all. I love the show, but you're gonna understand, like, damn, I see what point being made. Erica Alexander is let's get back to the shape topic. Calling a girl muscle, but that's not like that's not the same thing though. It's calling a girl a dog, a camel, and a horse. It's never gonna be the same thing to me. Right? It's just never, because he was never gonna call Gina a dog or horse or nothing like that. And they gonna say because it was his woman. But nah, like if it was another girl on the show, if Lisa Ray McCoy from my hometown, Chicago, Illinois, if she was Pam, he would have never made there would have never been no jokes about her. Cause this light-skinned girl, she finer than a motherfucker. So he ain't finna say them type of dog and wolf and camel jokes about her. Them type of jokes, when even them BDB jokes, BDB, buckshot jokes, Them jokes, oftentimes those jokes are not lobbied to lighter skinned women. It's not. It's not. And again, people can feel like people overreading things, and that's fine. But again, I understand when you understand how colorism works. Colorism is not just talking about the color of your skin. It's even jokes about hair texture, all of that. That is all within the frame of colorism. You know what I'm saying? So there's a reason why Erica Alexander said Ari Lennox criticisms are valid. Now, this is a woman, Erica Alexander, we love her. She done been all through Hollywood. And she get up there and say Ari Lennox criticisms are all valid. That's not coming from a place of malice, right? We can still, the hair jokes weren't even legit because Pam hair was always on point. You see what I'm saying? But Buckshots and BDB, he would never throw them jokes at a lighter skinned girl like that. You know what I mean? What's your repeat your comments, Sabbatical Queen? It's a ton of comments coming in. You got to repeat your comment. To call someone BDB is blatant texturism, and we all know colorism and texturism go hand. Absolutely, absolutely. You would never see a light skinned woman be called BDB for real in a show, and y'all know that. Y'all know that, man. You know what I'm saying? But again, because Martin was the leading man and I was a young boy, to me, the leading man dictates what's fine. So it had me thinking Pam wasn't fine like that because Martin calling her a dog and a horse. So I'm as a kid, I remember as a kid, man, I don't like no Pam. Like no Pam. Now, granted, my stuff was already shaped. My image of things was already shaped by the music videos. The light-skinned girl always at the front of the video. The light-skinned girl always a fine one in the movie. All of that, right? Right. The dark-skinned girl was on Class Act 2. She finding in frog hair. You know what I'm saying? She finding in frog hair. But yeah, like, I remember, it's certain stuff I remember I cannot let go. Like, again, if Lisa, just imagine if, and again, I was a young boy watching Martin. But just imagine if Lauren London played the character of Pam on the show. Ask yourself this. Would you ever think, do you think he would have been calling her BDB? You said blackness was celebrated in my house, especially dark skin. So as a child, that show didn't impact me like y'all. So there could be a difference. Right. And blackness was celebrated in my household. But my cousin, and I hope my cousin come in the comments. My cousin from the Robert Taylor Projects, 5100, 5135. Shout out to the Robert Taylors. My cousin, dark, almost like Lupita, almost like Lupita Nyong'o, right? I remember her coming home, being tormented by them jokes about how dark she was and all that. Being dark skinned in the 90s, that shit was like being like, what? Y'all know that shit was being, that was a hard time for some dark skinned girls. And I ain't even just talking about dark like Pam. If you dark like I'm trying to think. If you was a girl that was dark like Morris Chestnut or even Luol Deng, you was in trouble. You was in trouble. And y'all know that. You know? So again, as a young boy, I was conditioned to think Pam wasn't a fine one as a young boy. Now, as I got older, you know what you know. But yeah, like, y'all know that was being dark in the 90s like being a slave. Y'all can't sit up here and lie like that. You dark skinned? What? You know what I'm saying? Hold on, you said why all the dark skins get pregnant. The same way. Like dudes will sleep with bigger girls in private, but they won't do this shit in public. Same way, eyes, how they get pregnant. Motherfuckers will do, because they scared of perception. Same way how all the bigger girls, they be ending up pregnant and getting cracked all the time. And for some reason, a dude ain't never claiming her. That's how. That's how. That's how. Same way you know dudes who love big girls in private, but don't do it in public. That's how they was getting pregnant. Sneaking. Yeah, you know that. Come on, let's be for real. Gee, I'm from round the way. I know motherfuckers that tell me right now they ain't talking to no big girl at all. Next thing I know, I find out my homie then went over there and slid with the big girl. He be over there every other night. He don't want nobody to know he only meeting her at night and shit because he's scared of what everybody gonna think. Let's be for real. We know how this works, dog. Y'all, come on, man. Let's be for real. Dudes do that all the time. He said guilty. Exactly. Motherfucker be scared to be with the big girl in public. You feel me? I like they be scared of that. I ain't had no shame in my game though. Fuck that. You feel me? I like what I like. But it was dudes that was scared of being with the big girl in public. But they gonna go over there at night though. You know how many dudes in college I know was going in the big girls' dorm at night all the time, sliding there at night. But in public, hell no, you don't know her. Stay away from me. Stay away from me. And we can acknowledge those things, man. It's okay. It don't mean we gotta cancel the Martin show. It don't mean we gotta hate Martin or nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? Said Coco Jones, Cash Doll don't get the brunt of colorism. Yeah, I mean, we in a different time today, right? So dark-skinned girls, y'all know I ain't lying around this month. Mom be sneaking and geeking and creeping. I know so many dudes in college that was doing that shit, man. For real. I swear to God, I know one girl right now that come to mind. She was a bigger girl. Man, Mars didn't want to love her in public. In private, they running over there to her. I think this is a real deep look at how we are individually raised. No, because then you saying, because that's what, see, I got to watch y'all. Because now you trying to say I was raised wrong. Hell no. I'm not letting y'all put that on Big Mike and Francine. I wasn't. But what I'm saying is, I saw the shit in our community. And we not finna act like in y'all neighborhoods, y'all didn't see dark-skinned girls talk. Dudes, how many rappers y'all know still talk about dark butts? They don't want no dark butts. Y'all favorite rapper, Lil Wayne. Beautiful black bitch, but I bet that bitch look better red. That's y'all man. It's $100 grand. That's y'all boy. And I be getting down on him. You feel me? That's y'all man. Y'all know how they go. That's me for real. So it ain't just about I seen Chris Brown. Y'all favorite. Hold on. That's y'all man. So Chris Brown, y'all love that Negro. That Negro ain't gonna be caught dead with a black girl to save his life. None of his kids with a black woman. Hell no. Chris ain't fuck. If you black, you ain't got a chance on God's green earth. He ain't touching you with a 12-foot goddamn pole. He'll tell you, get your ass over there in that corner. If you ain't mixed with Asian, you Asian, you have Asian, you biracial, you Asian, biracial, your ass got to stay over there. Only black girl he really messed with for real was Rihanna. And Rihanna is Caribbean for real. So that shit to him, that don't count because she was something exotic to him. Let's be for real, man. Chris ain't gonna be caught dead with a black girl to save his motherfucking life. None of his kids were black women. And y'all let Chris rock out with that shit though. But if I did that shit, y'all talk about me like a motherfucker. But that's neither here nor there. Said Patricia, hello, what do you say? Mills, Patricia's better looking than Lisa McDowell on the original comments. Exactly. And Patrice was, and motherfucker, hold on, I gotta put my witch colors on. Mars was out here making it look like Patrice was ugly. When he first came, hold on. The Bayesian queen scared Chris away. ASAP Rocky too. His ass, I don't fuck with him like that either, because I know what he be on. I know what ASAP be on too. He said, funny how people go about this topic because is it colorism or preference? Now, hold on. Is it preference though? Because let me tell you something. No, y'all let Chris get that off. That's the problem. If I do that, nah, this see, y'all real funny about how who y'all let slide with that. It's a preference. It'd be cool. But if I do that, oh, he don't like black girls. I knew it. I knew this motherfucker. I knew he wasn't about what he talking about. Chris get to do what he want to do out this motherfucker. Same way he got 3 BMs, and if I got 2. I got 2, and I shouldn't call them BMs. I got children by 2 different women. If Chris got 3, it's all cool. If I got 3, it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, but let's get back to the topic at hand. That preference is not preference when you're bashing. And they said preference doesn't include bashing what you don't prefer. Right. They said Chris didn't have points where he didn't know he don't want no dark girls he don't want no dark girls in the section. He said every time Chris been in there saying he don't want no dark girls over here. Get them black girls over this motherfucker. Only, hey, you Asian? You Asian? You Asian? You half Asian? You mixed? You mixed? Come on. Karuchi? Come on. Hey, Eric Alexander, stay your ass over there. So all of them do that. You know what I'm saying? So like, listen, and I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with liking a lighter skinned girl or a mixed girl. Have I liked or found mixed girls attractive? Absolutely. Absolutely. He said dark women look better on camera to me. Is that colorism? I'm legit saying no, but colorism is this though. Like, again, making jokes that you know you would not frame around lighter skinned women. That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, how many light skinned girls? If you let's ask yourself this, man. Ask y'all, I'll keep asking y'all. If Lisa Ray McCoy or Lauren London would play the character of Pam, do you or do you not think there would be a lot of BDB jokes and jokes that the girl look like a horse, a camel, a dog, and all of that? You know what I'm saying? Right. Jamie don't bash, right? Jamie don't bash. But it's been said that Chris has sections where he ain't letting no dark girl up in them sections, right? I don't know how true that is, but it's been said that Chris be doing that, right? Same way, with your boy Lil Wayne, beautiful black B, but I bet that B look better red. All of that. Kodak Black say he don't want no dark girl. He don't want no dark. So let's be honest about it. And it's okay. I think we don't want to be honest about certain stuff because we think it means our shows are canceled. We ain't gonna have nothing to watch. I don't like the show. None of that. Like, but again, colorism is, I want people to understand. A lot of times we as a people don't understand how colorism works. It's not just, oh, you're dark, you're black jokes. But jokes about a woman's hair texture and stuff like that, that is often attributed to darker skinned women. It's not thrown at them light skinned women like that. For real. Find me a light skinned girl who got jokes made about her having buckshots and BDB. You know what I'm saying? Like, just find me that. And then we can talk about that for real. Find me a light skinned woman in Hollywood who had jokes. Wasn't Leela Rashawn old fine? Man, what? If Leela Rashawn was Pam, you think it would have been buckshot, BDB, horse jokes, you look like a dog, all of that? It's okay to acknowledge, man, that was wrong in the show, even though we love the show. Same way as now I'm 32 years old, right? You feel me? I'll be 33 tomorrow, right? I'll be 33 years old tomorrow. It's okay that I can look at a show that I love, like Good Times, and I can see what my grandmama was talking about. Right? I love that show, but my grandma wasn't lying when she say I can't watch that show because that's minstrel type stuff to me. Dynamite, all of that. My grandmama, God rest her soul, from the deep south, from Cleveland, Mississippi, to her seeing a black man, dynamite, that is shucking and jiving to her. And she like, not doing it. My grandma hated that show because she saw the character of JJ as being a minstrel type character. You know what I mean? And I still love that show, but I can understand what she mean and what she felt. That black woman that migrated to Chicago, Illinois in 1960, right? That black woman that never could imagine a black man being president of the United States of America. That affected her in a way. She like, man, Mac, you gotta have a call-in show. But I am. I gotta make a run in a minute, so I can't do it right now. We're gonna have to revisit. We're gonna have to do this conversation because this is a really good conversation, right? And James, look, John Amos felt the same way about JJ's character. He say, why they keep focusing on him doing all this shucking and jiving and all that type of stuff? Yeah, my birthday on Founders Day. Absolutely. Shout out to the noobs. You feel me? Yeah, J5 for real. Yeah, but it's a thing. And I know I'm getting loud on here because I'm just passionate. But yeah, my grandmama, when my daddy would watch that show, my daddy would watch the show. She'd be like, yo, daddy watching JJ. She didn't even call it Good Times. She said, yo, daddy that watching JJ. She hated that, right? So don't forget how lighter women are rarely compared to a man. Are rarely, but darker women, even when pretty, still get manly comments. Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. Calling Pam a man, all of that. You think them jokes would have been attributed to Lauren London, Lisa Ray? None of them. No, it would not have. Now I appreciate the donation, Malika. And my homie Chris donated too, man. My bad, bro. I'm trying to get the comments right and all of that. Yeah, this has definitely got to be a call-in show, because you know what I'm saying. But like, I gotta go get my son in a minute and stuff too. So you know what I mean. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Said both Pam and Gina look good. Yeah, they did look good, but that's the point. They both were beautiful women, right? But as a young boy, when you're watching television, your mind can be framed. I appreciate the happy early birthday wishes. Your mind can be framed by what the lead man of the show thinks about a woman, right? They both are beautiful women. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand how the lead man of the show, can dictate what you think is beautiful. As a man, I'm looking at Martin as the guy, right? When I went to college, I was a mass comm major. I had a radio show. I used to want to be like Martin. You know what I'm saying? I used to want to be like Martin on the radio. And as a man, when you a kid, you looking at Martin as the guy. And what he deem is fine, it can dictate what you deem and what you feel like is fine. As a kid, I was conditioned to think Pam wasn't fine because Martin was calling her a dog, a horse, a camel. And Gina was the fine one because all he did crack jokes about her big head, right? But he always talked about how gorgeous, how fine she was and all of that. Now, that's his woman for sure. But Pam's beauty, like Pam's beauty was raised, it was praised by the side characters, right? Like Jerome and shit like that. Tommy did too, you know what I mean? All of that. But like, Martin, the lead man, really besides that episode of her in his dream, Martin he ain't really deem Pam as fine like that, you know? So you want to be Martin when he got absolutely not. I'm talking about with the radio show. The radio show part. I always perceived Martin as trying to make Gina feel better because Pam was the hot one. All his friends wanted to date her. I ain't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? I just knew how, what's the word I'm looking for? I just saw the lead man really not, admiring Pam's beauty like that, you know? So yeah. And again, today everyone acts like they've always liked Pam more. Lies. Y'all was over Gina. Now that's a fact. Now let's go be for real. Cause Tashina Arnold brought up the fact that it was some reverse colorism going on. That the people didn't react to Gina's jokes like that because she was light skinned. Well, they love Martin so much, and they didn't want to see Martin with a light skinned girl, and they didn't laugh at her jokes. The girls didn't laugh at her jokes like that because she was light skinned, right? I never want to discredit anybody's experience, right? But I can only say what we experienced growing up. I never saw light-skinned girls being clowned like that for being light-skinned. They might just say you was yellow, but it wasn't the same as clowning a dark-skinned girl. Like, what being a dark-skinned in the 90s was like being a slave to people. Like, for real. I'm telling you, Morris Chestnut changed the game for dark-skinned brothers. Morris Chestnut changed the game. Wesley Snipes and Morris Chestnut probably changed the game for dark-skinned guys. You know what I mean? Christopher Williams, Al B. Sure and them had the game on lock for the longest. So yeah, that's cap. People saying that light-skinned girls are getting the same abuse when we live in a society. Yeah, like, so when Tashina Arnold said they were making fun of Wesley Snipes. I said Wesley Snipes, yeah. Wesley Snipes, they changed the game for dark-skinned brothers. And for real, because being dark, do you know how many old black grandmamas that I know in the South that told their granddaughters, don't date no dark man. You don't want that baby to be too dark. You don't want that baby to be too dark now. You better get you a lighter, get him, don't. Don't do that. I've heard when I went to Mississippi, I know so many girls, several girls, more than several, who told me their grandmamas did not, because they were dark skinned. Their grandmamas did not want them dating darker men. Cause you want that baby. You don't want that baby to be that dark. Don't want that baby to be that black now. You know? Only thing though, light skinned dudes used to get called fruity and came back to you. But y'all know Christopher Williams, them had them on lock. You know what I mean? Christopher Williams, I'll be sure now. Remember Alan Payne? Remember Alan G Money? You know what I'm saying? G Money, them like what? So what's what's the boy name? Shamar Moore and them. Shamar Moore and them. All of that. He said in House Party, they had the dark-skinned girl living in the projects, and the light-skinned girl had rich better. Oh, my mama and them, man. What? Yeah. He said, yeah, those old grannies definitely used to say that. What, Mississippi? Don't you date no dark man. They be saying that to their grandkids. They grandchildren don't. So that really, it's a real thing in our community, is what in my point. All right, Omar Epps came along too, Marcus. But I think we can have these honest conversations, y'all, without me feeling like I'm not trying to get rid of the Martin show. I'm not saying Martin should be canceled. I love the show just like y'all. But we can acknowledge that there were certain things that was not okay in the show, and that's perfectly fine, right? Same way I can acknowledge that there are certain lyrics from certain rappers. DMX got a lyric about if a girl older than 15, he gonna RAPE her, right? It was all type of grape jokes. MC Ren them had all type of grape jokes all in their music. While I love those rappers, I can acknowledge them lines was sick as fuck. Those were some sick lines to ever include in music. Why was that ever included? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know what I mean? So, I love them rappers, but MC Ren had that. What song was that MC Ren had that bad line? Biggie had them lines about, you look so good, you suck on your daddies, you know what? Them raps was crazy as hell. And I'd be like, what is he talking? What? When Biggie say his man Gutter kidnaps kids and he do something to him and throw him over the bridge. I hate that line so much, I can never repeat that line because it's so despicable. Now, Big was my brother. God rest my brother's soul. My brother, one of my older brothers. That was his favorite rapper. When Big say that line on What's Beef, I said, oh no. Hey, I can't be saying that line. What he do to kids? His man Gutter do something to kids and throw them over the bridge. And you know what I'm talking about. She swallowed it. Yes, that's the song. And listen to what MC Ren say on that song, what he do to a girl that's like 14 years old. Right? Now, while I love NWA, that shit was very problematic. Why was that a rap lyric at all? Hell, listen to how I love Don't Be Afraid by Aaron Hall. But when you understand the context of who Aaron Hall was or is as a person, what happened with him and Gloria Velez, and when you look at them lyrics, even though the song sounds real good, you be like, hold on now, don't be afraid. It sounds like you kidnapping a girl holding a hostage, ready to assault her. The melody sound good. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, baby. Don't be afraid. That is a bop, right? But when you look, it's not funny at all. But when you look at what Aaron's history, what happened with him and Gloria Velez, you like, hey, Aaron. Aaron. You know what I'm saying? So my point in saying that is that it's okay to acknowledge that some of the things that we really love and enjoyed had themes that were not acceptable. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that hey, look at the Aaron Hall interview today. Aaron is absolutely ridiculous. If that was my father, I would be embarrassed 1,000%. Said this is why them people in and out of them courtrooms today. Yeah, man. So like, um, what I was saying, but yeah, like I think people we don't want to acknowledge certain things because we think, oh, it's gonna get Martin up out of here if we say this. No, man. But it's okay to acknowledge, man. Man, them jokes that was a little too much, man. That wasn't okay. Same way I can acknowledge that JJ saying dynamite every 5 minutes was out of pocket. Same way I can acknowledge Florida Evans worshiping the white Jesus and getting mad because JJ painted the Jesus black was out of pocket. Was a bad message for black folks. I love that show, but I can say, hey, no, Florida get mad that JJ painted the Jesus black. But we like, yo, what? So, and as we get older and we grow in society and we gain knowledge, it's okay to say these things. A lot of my father and them are my father's generation is very stubborn. They don't want to believe there was error in anything that they've done. Let's be for real. They don't want to, a lot of them don't want to believe it was error in a lot of stuff, anything that happened during that era, a lot of stuff. And I'm here to tell my father now, I love you, Dad, but there's certain things that we can have healthy conversation about and say, that's not okay. Y'all know Florida Evans. Florida got mad. JJ painted the Jesus black. He said, you take that Jesus down. Only Jesus I know don't look like that. He got white skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair. Oh, this is not Jesus. Take this Jesus down right now, JJ. JJ, take him down now. I'm looking at Florida like, hey, man, what? Florida, are you going to calm down around this month? She turned down 100 bands down. Like, JJ, don't paint that picture for that pimp. Don't paint it for the hustler. Don't paint it for that druggist. See, I agree that Martin stuff was out of pocket. I don't like how he was always cracking on Pam. It was funny when I was younger. Now as a grown woman, it's not okay. Yeah, we can acknowledge, man, as we get older. And that's what my parents sent me to school for, y'all. And sometimes the older generation will buck back against it. But I went to school to be educated and to realize the error in certain ways and certain stuff, y'all. Right? As you get old, you don't even got to be in school to know that. Just as we get older, as society moves forth, we recognize certain things that happened in the past is not okay. Same way I can get on here and acknowledge that when black folks was putting out their kids, when certain black people was putting their kids out the house at 18, that was detrimental to the development and the maturation of those young people. Just because they was 18, you got to go. Knowing in this time in life, how many 18-year-olds can really fend for themselves that, like, you know what I mean? That's setting your kid up for failure in certain aspects, right? So, yeah, man, it's okay to acknowledge certain stuff like it's way out of pocket, you know? And that's perfectly fine. So, it's not me trying to get rid of Martin and trying to take away something that we enjoy. It's just me having a conversation saying that ain't how this supposed to be. That's not how that's not how this conversation, that's not how certain conversations around things are supposed to be framed. Like I said before, Martin calling Pam a horse, a dog, camel, that is not the equivalent of calling Gina big head and bubble butt is not the same as calling Pam a dog, a horse, a cat, a camel. It's not. And once we learn certain things, we can grow from it. And that's okay, y'all. That's it, man. Oh my God. Calling a girl buckshots and BDB is just something. Called a dog and all of that. That's nothing he would never call a girl. Not Martin himself, but the writers and none of them. Martin, the writers, none of them would never call a woman that looked like Lauren London. They would never call a woman that looked like, I don't know, what's another light-skinned girl? Zendaya, however you pronounce her name. They would never call a woman that looked like that buckshots or dog or horse or nothing. You would never see that. And to act like we would, y'all out here trying to gaslight yourself. Y'all out here playing. Y'all out here playing for real. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. That's all I'm saying. Because y'all know that wouldn't be the case. James, what's going on, man? What's happening, y'all? I mean, yeah, Pam was definitely holding her own 100%. But I'm just saying, certain jokes wouldn't be thrown at her. And look, like you said, calling Pam the horse and the horse. Gina wearing weave. Gina wearing the same type of weave. He ain't saying nothing like that about her. So yeah, and Erica Alexander agreed with Ari Lennox. I just think we as people, especially we as men, we like to call people soft. If you ain't you soft, y'all soft. And again, I be want to tell when brothers try to call me that, I'll be looking like, bro, I grew up in Chicago in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? When if you walk to the corner store, the GD's at the end of the block. When folks them up the street, the BD's over here, the Blackstones over here, the moles up this block over there, and they gonna ask you what you is, shorty, when they see you. In the era where they was playing, point them out, knock them out. Ain't nothing soft about me. As a man, as an adult, as a father, I just realized error in certain things, y'all. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And again, I love this show, right? Cultural relevancy. Martin wearing all the HBCU sweaters and shirts and hoodies and all of that on the show. That's dope. I'm a proud graduate of the HBCU. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. So look, y'all. That is my brother Derek, man. All love, Derek. This is my son, Godfather, man. Derek Jones. You say, hey, y'all, tomorrow Mac birthday. Y'all show him some love. All love, man. I appreciate that, Jones. I appreciate that, brother. And I appreciate uh who that? Malika. Thank you so much for the donations you sending in. I see them. It mean a lot to me. Chris, I appreciate the donation too, bro. I appreciate it. Like I say, all that mean a lot, man, to your boy. It mean a whole lot to me, man. I'm trying to really do this thing. I'm trying to do this YouTube thing full time. Well, I don't even got to go to work. I got to work tonight and all of that, man. So, yeah, man. But I appreciate all y'all. And I appreciate the birthday wishes from y'all as well, man. Thank y'all so much. And look, though, we going to continue this conversation. I appreciate all y'all telling me happy birthday, man. Yeah, man, tomorrow your boy finna be 33 years old. I've been on this earth 33 years. It don't even feel like it, but it felt like it at the same time, right? Because I didn't had every type. I didn't I didn't went to college. I didn't went to grad school. I didn't had children. You know what I'm saying? I didn't um, seen some of my friends get married and my other friends have kids and all of that. So it's indicative that I'm getting older and older and older for sure. My daughter in high school, she a freshman in high school right now. So that's a sign that I'm always say I'm already a father, bro. I've been a father since I was 18, bro. My daughter 14 right now, man. So my son 5 years old. So yeah, man. I've been on this earth and had experiences for a while, man. So but I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm glad to be living, glad to be still on this earth breathing in good health and able to function and do things that I gotta do for my children, man. So that's a blessing, man. So like I said, I want to thank y'all for hopping on here, coming on. Only reason I'm getting off y'all is because only reason I'm hopping off is because I gotta go make a run right quick, man. So I'm gonna holler at y'all a little later, and then I'm gonna try to go live again because we gotta continue this conversation. This is a conversation that has to be had extensively. I want to interact with y'all while having the conversation as well. So yeah, man, look, like I say, tomorrow I'm gonna go live tomorrow too, because tomorrow my B-day. And then but I'm gonna try to go live again later on. So y'all stay tuned. And I'm gonna make a regular video about this topic. I wanna, because this topic is it's an interesting one, man. But I'm gonna holler at y'all a little later. I'm out. Peace.